Yeah, look at this. Pictures and symbols. This looks weird. What is that? What do you make of that, guys?
A plus sign and a chicken.
My gut is telling me to throw this book in the trash.
Well,
it's
yeah.
absolute nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's enough. He wants a worm hat?
Worm hat.
Worm hat. Or what is that? That's a bird with teeth. It sure is.
How's it going, everybody? We got a special coming at you right now concerning book adaptations and when books are properly adapted to movies, how often some of the most current modern movies are sourced from books. So we got some good examples, bad examples. We'll just get right at it. Me and Kahuna did a reaction to Primitive War, the new trailer for Primitive War, the movie. It's a dinosaur flick adapted from a novel. And, if they do it right, maybe it'll be good. The budget doesn't seem as big as like something like Jurassic Park, but if it's done right, then, they can pull it off. But I pulled up some quick things here. We got a list of some of the best adaptations of all time. Number one, obviously, being Lord of the Rings. And, there's an argument to be made there because it's not perfect. Also, even, Shawshank Redemption by Stephen King. That's a little known fact. I don't know why I didn't know that until searching it up. Shawshank is one of my favorite things. Wizard of Oz, oddly enough, the first movie, there it is, based on a book. So I think, you can see here a long Schindler's List, Hunger Games. It's pretty impressive for 2012 to creep onto the list there with a young adult YA novel. Forrest Gump. Yeah, Harry Potter. So as you can see, it's not an unobtainable thing to do in the modern times. And the best, most recent example, obviously, being Dune there. It's not unobtainable in modern times, which is a cool thing. And I think for, a long-standing history, books and movies have been intrinsically intertwined. Because they're just stories. And I think games are right there with it. Just the culture and the economy and all that business side of things hasn't really caught up to the video games. People just don't ever do it quite right, from what it seems. But from what we've seen, like before they dropped the ball on The Last of Us, for example, they clearly know how to do that kind of stuff. So it after a certain extent, it just kind of becomes a choice on their part. Just they can do things faithfully, and stories are stories, whether it's a comic or a book or a video game or a novel or anything. But I digress. I got a good example here of I Am Legend. It is a terrible it's not the worst movie. You could argue it in a lot of ways. Will Smith does a really good job. He's got his dog best friend and stuff. And there's the post-apocalyptic setting and all that. It's by all means, I really loved the movie when it first came out so much that it caused me to dive into the book. And it was in reading the book that I realized how poorly adapted the movie actually was. You could just tell they were excited to do a bunch of specific things, like have Will Smith drive through post-apocalyptic, like New York in a Charger, and then have the deer running through there and stuff like that, which the deer scene is really cool. Those aesthetics work when you're doing an adaptation and stuff, but there's a lot of other things like the monsters and like the ending and who Robert Neville was and stuff like that. But, this is an example of a great movie adapted poorly, I would say. They missed the ball. One of the key things I'm looking for in an adaptation personally, and I think, I can't speak for others at all, but I'd like to think that a lot of people are with me on this take, is the main thing that they're looking for is accuracy. They just want to see more or a different. They want to see what they love in a different medium. So if they love the Mona Lisa, they want to see the Mona Lisa on parchment instead of canvas, right? But at its heart, it still needs to be Mona Lisa. So yeah, pretty good movie, but adapted terribly for reasons I'll get into on the final tab that we open up on here. Now here's a good movie that everybody raves about. I assume it's adapted well, but like I said, I didn't know it was Stephen King until searching some of this stuff up. I always just loved the movie, but it turns out there's a reason it's a good movie, and it's probably because it had rich source material to draw off of when they filmed it. And if it knocked it out of the park as much as it did, I'm assuming it followed the source material at least somewhat, for people to not write it off. I mean, this is regarded as this is just a good story, a good movie too. So, if you've read the Shawshank Redemption book, let me know in the comments below how well the movie adapted it. I'd be very curious. I'm super curious about that kind of thing. I really will stand by that. Accuracy is probably the number one thing that we're all looking for. And if you disagree that accuracy is not the number one thing, let me know why down in the comments below. So here's some things that people are looking for in successful adaptations. It says this section provides a comprehensive exploration of what audiences value in most adaptations of books, drawing from recent analysis and discussions. The focus is on identifying the top 5 criteria supported by examples and insights. So, we got faithfulness, number 1. I don't think these are particularly ranked, but it's no coincidence that would be the first thing that they mention. It captures the spirit and the key details of the book. No shit, right? So if you're not faithfully adapting it, you're missing either the spirit of it, which is a big thing, that's going to turn off fans instantly, or the key details, which are kind of important to any plot or story or IP or world building or anything. You're missing key details, then it's not the same story. It's something different. It's cheap fan fiction. Oh, cool. Right here, example. The Age of Innocence is remarkably faithful. I might have to check that out. Lincoln 2012. I might have to check that out too. Holy crap. I just get excited hearing about it being faithful. It's almost like the story is a secondary thought. Strong character. So, everybody loves character. That's just a good thing in any story, right? Emotional impact, and again, another good thing in any story, right? You have it like Schindler's List. It's an emotional story. High quality, that would be, I think, the first real second thing. So they're looking for accuracy and quality, right? And then modern tone or interpretation. That's interesting. And I think this is, I don't want to say it never happens, but I want to say it's rare in the occasions where it's acceptable are rarer still. For example, we just watched It's a Wonderful Life on the Iron Seas for Noir Week, and since that's public domain for one, which is kind of a flag that signals, hey, interpret this, reinvent it. Winnie the Pooh is a great example. I think that's what we used on the show. But that's when you would do a modern interpretation, right? Something like It's a Wonderful Life or Winnie the Pooh, these Sherlock Holmes, stuff like that. Things that are instant classics, I think, would be the best for modern interpretations. You take an IP like Jurassic Park, Primitive War, Shawshank Redemption. Oh yeah, let's do a modern interpretation of Shawshank Redemption. Let me take Stephen King's masterpiece and tweak it. And I guess I haven't read it, but if it's as good as the movie, for those of you who have read it, let me know if it's a masterpiece down below. But you know what I'm saying? It's let me take the Mona Lisa and just, I want her to be more blonde, and let's give her different color eyes, because, whatever. it's stupid. It's the same with any art. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Censoring the David and stuff like that. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. But I digress. I will stand by and die on the hill that faithfulness of the source material is the number one thing that people are looking for in their adaptations. So if you've checked out the new trailer for Primitive War, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and you can go check out our reaction video. It's under 10 minutes. I'll link that in the description here also. And yeah, let me know what you think of adaptations, what your favorite adaptation is, if you're excited for Primitive War or not. And just let us know. And until next time, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Cheers.
We weren't quite sure what a worm hat was, right? So we made a few of them. It's a hat made of worms, okay? You put on, and when you do that, you look maybe you're a worm, right? Yeah. And then the third one is a hat for your worm.
Oh, you're teeny tiny little worm.
Yeah.